Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu salamu ala Rasulullah. This is the story of a youth that realizes the truth. Many Muslims from the Arab regions migrated to various parts of South America in the last few hundred years. After a few generations have passed, the Muslims there slowly started going away from Islam due to the lack of an Islamic environment. To remind these people to be steadfast in Islam, a group of brothers from Toronto in Canada was sent to Venezuela in 2002. Due to their strong effort, some amazing changes took place in the lives of Muslims in Venezuela who were in the verge of leaving Islam. One such incident is mentioned below. As the brothers were looking for Muslims one day, they noticed a young boy of about 16 years of age who looked like an Arab descendant. So they approached him and asked him what his name was and if he was a Muslim. The youth replied that he is Muslim and his name is Darwin. Islam was so much out of their lives that the names became the names of famous atheists and unbelievers. The brothers gave Darwin and asked if he could join them for some time. The youth took his mother's permission and joined the brothers for a few days. Within 3 days, Darwin learned Surah Al-Fatiha and started feeling the sweetness of Iman. Then he asked his mother if he could join them, the brothers, for some more time, and the permission from his mother was granted. Within 2 weeks, Darwin started getting up for Tahajjud on his own. Then one day after Maghrib prayer, he went to the front and mentioned that he had something to say. He told the worshippers that from today I am not a Darwin anymore, I'm Abdullah, which is the meaning for the name of a servant of Allah. These are the results that come forth by the effort of those who gave their time and energy for the sake of Islam. The brothers have gone back to South America last month to cover more areas. May Allah make them successful. From this story we can see what the unity of Muslim can do. But when Muslims unite together, what influence it could have on other Muslims. This Darwin, this young boy who was only 16 years of age, the tender age, he has spent his time with his brothers in acquiring knowledge of learning Al-Islam, and as a result increasing his Iman. And his Iman was evident when he took the grasp and he changed his name. He changed his name to Abdullah, the servant of Allah. What a beautiful name that is. This brother was from an environment which was far from Al-Islam. What we can see is that these brothers who went from all the way from Canada and went to Venezuela, the influence they had on this young Muslim boy. What we should learn from this is that we Muslims should always stay with other Muslims. We should always try to be in company of other Muslims. I'm not saying that you should not be anywhere near non-Muslims, but rather I'm saying that we should be in the company of our brothers, ones that will enjoy the maruf and forbid the al-munkar, the ones who will enjoy the good and forbid the evil. How good would it be to be with those that are beneficial to you in terms of your Islamic progression, in terms of you acquiring your Iman, in terms of you getting that knowledge, or in terms of you getting that characteristics, in terms of you becoming that character that will take you to Jannah. How beautiful would that be, rather than hang around with those that destroy your Iman, the ones that destroy your characteristics, the ones that take you to the pitfall of hellfire. What a disgrace that would be to you in the hereafter. So my advice to myself and all the Muslims would be, hang around with the Muslim brothers and sisters that will benefit you. Hang around with the Muslim brothers, do not leave them to be alone. The worst thing that you could do for your brother is to leave him alone, because when he's alone, the next company of him is the shaitan, and the shaitan will whisper things to them. The shaitan will make them lazy. The shaitan will make them do things that are forbidden. The shaitan will keep them away from salah. The shaitan will enjoin the munkar and forbid the maroof. Will enjoin the bad and it will forbid the good. So stay clear of that shaitan, and one way we could do that is not to isolate ourselves. Rather, we should be like these brothers who hanged around together. How beautiful was that? They hanged around for 3 days together, acquiring knowledge from each and another, and how beautiful was the result that this young man, this 16-year-old Darwin, to see the 16-year-old Abdullah, who became the name, who took the name, the servant of Allah. How beautiful that he could see the nur, he could see the iman, he could see his iman increasing. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? How many times have we distanced ourselves from our brothers? How many times have we stayed away from our brothers? We felt so lazy. We need to ask ourselves the times that we felt lazy, even though there was no need for us to be lazy, even though we were not busy, we did not have any family duties, we did not have any work duties. Why is it that we kept ourselves away from our brothers? We have to ask ourselves, was it our brain, was it our intellect that was telling us to stay away, or rather was the laziness coming from the shaitan? Rather was it that cursed one, the one that's going to get the worst of punishment in Jahannam? The shaitan, was it him that kept us away from our brothers? We should always try to link to our brothers, we should always try to meet our brothers, we should always try to acquire knowledge, share knowledge. How better is it to have knowledge that you acquired and you passed on? How beautiful is that? The same knowledge that you could give to someone else, that they could pass on to someone else. How beautiful is that? You will be rewarded. Imagine the ajr, the goodness, the good deeds that you're going to acquire. Can you imagine your good deeds piling up? How better is that for your good deeds to pile up, rather than your popularity pile up in a haram way? Your popularity of being a playboy, your popularity of being good with the girls, or being popular with the girls, the same thing that's going to take you to the pitfall of haram, will take you to the pitfall of hellfire, and that is haram. How can we choose between the two? How can we choose the haram and not the halal? How can we not choose the good but choose the bad? Are we really that silly? Do we really want to book our ticket to hellfire? No, we do not. So I remind myself, and I urge myself and my fellow Muslims, that we should always try to be in the company of the Muslims, especially the youths. The youths, they are at the tender age, they are at an age where the shaitan will not only come from the front, back, left and right. No, it's not the age where the shaitan will come slowly. It's the age the shaitan is going to come with a machine gun. It's the age where the shaitan is going to be shooting not just one arrow, but he's going to be shooting like the Terminator. He's going to be using a machine gun to shoot all the arrows, because this is the age where the hormones are at its highest. This is the age where there's a lot of fitna. This is the age when, this is the fruitful age when we're tempted. We have temptations towards the opposite sex. This is the time where we think that we've got the rest of our life ahead, even though we don't realize that death could be just round the corner. This is the age that we think that we're invincible, that death will never come to us, yet death can be just round the corner. So my dear Muslims, we should always try to be in the company of our Muslims, our fellow Muslims, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, our friends, all fellow Muslims, because we are one ummah. We're the ummah of the best person to walk the earth, Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the best man to walk the surface of earth. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of the ones that are close to our Muslims. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of the ones that acquire knowledge, that share knowledge between our fellow Muslims, brothers and sisters. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of the ones that can stay away from the fitna of the shaitan. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of the ones that enter Jannah. Ameen.